This episode is ad-free on the Patreon. So if you want to partake in that, you can head on over to patreon.com/reality tea times two. Patreon going strong. If you want to go over there and join in on the fun, we got 3 tiers on Canadian dollars. First tier is $3 a month, where you get these episodes ad-free. You also get AMAs once a month, or Learn About Me episode once a month. And then on the second tier, which is $5 a month, you get everything from the first tier, as well as coverage of a reality show of yesteryear. That's right now Jersey Shore. We're currently in season 3. You can also go to the main feed, where there will be the first episode of every season released there. So you can try that before you head over to the Patreon. And then on the third tier, you get everything from the first 2 tiers, as well as coverage from a true crime documentary. We got the backlog of Ashley Madison documentary, Man of 1,000 Kids, Into the Fire, Lacey Peterson, and again, all those episodes for the first episode of each is in the main feed, so you can try that before you head over. So if you are interested, you can head over to patreon.com/reality tea times two, and you can sign up for whichever tier you feel for. Again, you can try before you buy, which basically means you can try any tier for a week before committing to it. Even if you are on if you are on tier 1 or the first tier and you want to go over to the second tier, you could still try that second tier for a week before committing to the upgrade. So again, that is at patreon.com/reality tea times two. And of course, the link is in the show notes, website, social media accounts. It's all available there. Welcome to Reality Tea Times 2, the podcast where we discuss all the trash reality TV we love to hate. I'm Tanika. And today, hopefully, you can hear me. Then I come in closer to the mic because I have to leave it where I leave it so that I can record. So yeah, this episode, I'm actually re-recording it because I recorded it yesterday, with the hopes of having it to you earlier. Earlier, I don't think I'm putting this out today, so earlier, or on a Friday. So earlier today, I was hoping to get it out to you, but realized that half of the episode was missing and not fully recorded. So yeah, with that being said, I have to redo the episode. So yeah, that's what we have to do here, and just do the episode over again, which I am not thrilled to do. But here we are. Hopefully I can make this just as fun as I did yesterday. Anyway. All right, episode 6 of Temptation Island. So we left off with, Jack taking Jasenia into the Temptation Haven. Something is clearly happening in that tent with them. So we'll leave that there. Cheyenne ends up taking Preston to bed and tells him, "You're a giant." Meaning, I don't think she means his height. Pretty sure we can all agree we know what she's talking about. And then they fucking, they for real are doing it. And yeah. So the next morning, Jack sees Carter and he says to her, like, "I feel shitty." And here's the thing. He feels shitty about taking Jasenia into Temptation Haven, someone who's not his girlfriend. And he feels shitty towards Carter because he took this other person. Carter's also not his girlfriend. So do you not feel shitty about your girlfriend actually seeing all of this, because she is going to see all of this? It's very interesting. He says, "I think I went into the tent because I was running away from my feelings." I'm going to assume he is talking about his feelings towards Carter, not his girlfriend. He says, I fucked up. But Carter, y'all don't even worry about it. She's not even upset. She knows the name of the game. She knows what she signed up for. She says that this is the experience you're meant to experience. And go ahead and experience being single. No big deal. So, moving on. Xavier is kind of wanting to see some more physical, I guess, contact between him and Sydney. So he takes her to a corner, some corner, and he just hugs her, which, that was sweet. And then he kisses her. So that's a line we've now crossed. She was wondering when it would happen. Now it has. Then she starts crying a little bit. Not probably because she has just cheated on her boyfriend by kissing another guy, but because she kissed someone. Anyways. So then we have Mark here to reveal that we've got a bonfire. So this is kind of how I knew that Cheyenne is only dealing with Preston because she wants to stick it to Jack. Because she's like, I'm really excited for Jack to see what I've been up to. Okay, great. So you're both children. Sounds about right. So the men are first. Things are going to be a bit different. They will have a chance to see 2 clips if they so choose to. They don't have to see those 2 clips. So yeah. So Jack is first. So we see Cheyenne going into the tent for the first time, doing whatever she was doing in the tent that time. And the funny thing is, he literally is like, finally. And I made this joke yesterday and I remembered it, so I'm going to say it here again. Him saying finally literally reminded me of Marcus in Breaking Dawn Part 2 when like Edward and Bella are about to kill him and he's like, finally. Like it's literally. So when this man says finally, I'm like, finally? I also said this one. Finally, it's happened to me right in front of my face, and I just can't describe it. I think it's the words. But anyways, he's literally out here being like, finally. And I'm just like, what is going on? Because I believe it was his idea to come onto this. I really feel like he just wanted to blow the relationship up, and this was the only way that he could think of. It's masterful, really. He says, it hurts, but I'm glad she did it. You're glad she did it? Sorry, y'all, if you hear my laptop is doing what it's doing. It'll be temporary. Don't worry if the sound is off. He's like, this needed to happen to get us out of our toxic cycle. So he says, go ahead and run that second clip. And of course, we see the quote unquote sleepover, aka them having sex. Cole, I feel like, is more upset about this than Jack is because he's like, fuck this chick. And he's like, this is what we needed. It's fine. He says there is a world where we could both forgive and be together, but I don't know if that's possible. Then we have Cole. He's next. She's dogging on him about not knowing, about energy. And Bradley's like sucking her toes and kissing her ass. Let's be real. And to me, I'm just like, who gives a shit that this guy doesn't know about energies? Like, who cares? Like, it's your woohoo doesn't mean that he has to be. And he's like, roll the second clip. So we see them in the bubble. She's hugging Bradley and saying, like, I don't have to settle, which is like, this guy is a pretty decent person. To use a term like, I don't have to settle, when we have Jack over here having sex with everybody. Like, you know what I mean? Apparently, she has told him that he doesn't have masculine energy, But she will defend later. We'll talk about it more then. But I do think it's pretty fucked up for someone to say, oh, this person doesn't have masculine energy. Like, what does that mean to you? But Mark kind of says, like, that is kind of the wrong thing to say and maybe a little toxic. Yeah, I would say so. I feel like it's just kind of putting men backwards into hyper focusing on their masculinity when I think the majority of people don't want that or don't want our men to be hyper focused on something like that for their own mental health and for the health of a relationship. And she has a pretty decent person for the most part. He ain't perfect, don't get me wrong. But in comparison to these other fools, he's Prince Charming. Anyways, Submit is next, and we see Kaylee telling the story about being left alone in his room crying while he's with his friends. And he says that he wants to see more of life and he doesn't want to be tied down. I'm sorry. If your man is saying, I don't want to be tied down, game's over. So he chooses not to see another clip. Next, we have Mikey. We see the date with Sydney and Xavier and then them kissing. And he's just like, what the fuck? Wow, my life is going to be so different. It's okay. It's okay. And it's okay. And he just starts crying. And he's like, you know what? Let's see the other clip. So they see the other clip, and it's her saying that Xavier makes her feel seen and heard. And then we see him kissing her neck. It's just hard because she said at my sister's wedding, he said this in the last episode, since I was last wedding and just 2 weeks ago and told my mom that she loves me. Be honest with me. Like, should I shut the door? I think she's shut the door at this point, but okay. But Mark does say, I think that's hard to say. Like, I don't think you should have never shut the door. Actually, and I said this last time too, so I'm going to say it again. There are times when you do shut the door. Okay. There's times where you nail that door shut. There's times where you like, ain't no one coming through this door again. And there are times where you actually want to take the door Monsters Inc. style and wood chopper, wood chip, shred the door because we need to shred the door because a kid may have seen you or something, or they're no longer scared of you no more because they got older. That type of situation. There are just times where the door needs to be shut. So we got more changes coming. Haven is going to be gone, but you get to record a 30-second video to your person. You could choose to do it or you could choose not to do it. And vice versa for the women as well. They may not choose to do a video, which means you don't get a video. So that's it with the guys. Move on to the women. Kaylee is first, and we see him kind of saying that he feels like he's sacrificing a lot to be with Kaylee. Why are you dating me if I'm like so shitty? Well, sir, it's a great question. But at the same time, you don't have to be shitty. You know what I mean? She says, he has said that to me many times. It tells me that he's not learning anything. And she says, roll the next clip. And we see him dancing. He's being fun, which isn't the problem. But then we see a girl twerking in his face. Like her ass is just in his face. And she says, it doesn't show me that he's making progress in this relationship. And it just shows me that you're having a lot of fun. And as she says, and this sucked. She's like, it makes me feel worthless. And of course you're not worthless. And that's not to say that he is, but you're not worthless because he's not doing what you think he should be. Cheyenne is up next, and we see Jack going into the tent with Jasenia. She says, well, that's Jack. He's shown me the same thing since the first bonfire. And then someone, I think it was Mark, asked, like, who is Cheyenne? And she said, I don't know. I don't know who Cheyenne is. Going to need to get back to Cheyenne. And either, you know, what have you learned? And she says that the girls make her feel like she's the best. Because you are the best, honey. That's what they say. I'm not saying that. They make me feel like I am fun. Besides these three women, though, is there anyone else that makes you feel like you're fun? She's like, well, yeah, like I got my BFF Preston, if that's what you want to call him. Anyway, she does not want to see more clips. She has seen enough. Sydney is next, and we see him kind of dancing with India and saying with Submit, you gotta see the temptation and resist the temptation. Mark asks, are you subconsciously trying to blow this up? She says, not at all. And I do wonder if she subconsciously is trying to blow this up, which I don't blame her for wanting to do that, but I'm just saying, like, own it. That's what you're trying to do. And Mark says, do you want to see more? She says, nope, I'm good. Then we move on to Scarlett. You see him saying, like, I don't think she has my back. I don't think she does. And I feel like she doesn't care. I don't know if she does. And the depressed cycle that he is currently in, even with that, she is still just so cold towards the whole thing. And Mark says, one could argue that you're being as surface level as he is playing it. Which, if anything, I don't think he's being surface level at all. I think it's all her. I think she's the one that's being surface. She wants her soul to be set on fire, y'all. I don't want to rehash this shit again because I did it last time, but I'm gonna have to. I think that's bullshit. I really do. You're not going to constantly have someone setting your soul on fire. It's now the next day. Bonfire's over. And it's time for videos. Kaylee is first. And we see him telling her that he misses her and he loves her so much. He misses her head on his shoulder and her blue eyes. He's like, I'm sad how you have put me down and I don't want to focus on the past. I just want us to be happy. Which is like, you're sad that she's saying all these things about you, but it's like, my God, you admitted it. You admitted to most of it. Anyways, then there was a message for Submit from Kaylee. And she says that I have taken this time to learn about myself, different outlook on life, and I'm happy to show you that. She says, I feel like I have to work harder than him to make this work. I'm tired of having to prove myself constantly, and I want us both to grow out of this, which is, I think, fair. Cole has a message from Scarlett, and it's basically her being cold again and saying, I truly wish like we didn't set boundaries, these strict boundaries. She wants to see growth. We lack communication, trust, and transparency and energy. Okay. She wants to see more self depth from him because I'm doing that over here. Are you though? And he was hoping that her message would have been a little bit more heartfelt, which I agree with. There wasn't, I love you, I miss you, not even that. It was all like, I wish you would do this, and this. And he's like, I'm a good guy and I treat her well. I would tend to agree. Scarlett is then next with her message from him. He tells her there has been so much growth and depth over here. She would beg to differ. He says, I miss you. There have been things that I have seen at the bonfires that have been hard, but just know that I love and I miss you. I see us singing in the kitchen to our favorite Shania Twain song. I wonder what the favorite Shania Twain song is. I really do. I know mine is, man, I feel like a woman. I'm basic. It is what it is. But I wonder if there's this like so basic, not basic, nothing Shania Twain does is basic. But it makes me think like, do they like, you're still the one? You know that's what they sing. You know that's what they sing in the kitchen. It's, you're still the one. You know it is. Or they do the duet between Shania Twain and Bryan Adams. You know, that's it. It's one of those two. Anyways, she starts breaking down and she tells the ladies that he just looks so sad because you've been literally tearing him down at every chance. And then he sees it at the bonfire and he's literally like a shell of a person. Anyways, that is it for episode 6. As I did yesterday, and you'll get to hear it now, this actually went through. We're doing a quick little thoughts on single life. So we're going to take a quick break here, and when we come back, we will jump in with my thoughts on the single life. Hi, everyone. So I have a new product for you to take part in. This one is called Zelda Merch. Zelda, like the video game. So, there's a little bit about Zelda merch. So, they are the first store that is dedicated to the Legend of Zelda merch, and it stands out. At Zelda Merchandise, they specialize in delivering one of a kind, high quality Legend of Zelda merchandise that you won't find anywhere else. So, whether you're a devoted fan of Zelda, or you collect unique items, or you're just searching for the perfect gift for someone, I could think of someone myself who I could gift this for. Their exclusive products are designed to celebrate your love for the series. So they pride themselves in offering a diverse range of premium items. So you can get stylish apparel or stunning accessories to captivating home decor and collectibles. So what sets them apart is their dedication to bringing you rare and distinctive creations inspired by the iconic world of Zelda. So, from exclusive designs featuring your favorite characters and symbols to custom crafted treasures, you won't find this anywhere else. Everything in their store is made to amaze. So, these are different things that you can find. If you're interested, you can get exclusive designs inspired by Zelda's legendary world, premium craftsmanship at the best prices, unique creative products that elevate your fandom. So, they have weekly bestsellers. They have different rings that you can partake in. They also have Bluetooth controllers or Joy-Con chargers, Nintendo Switch carry cases, Zelda games, of course, and they have Switch card holders, different controllers that are obviously Zelda inspired, or you can go for the more merchandise type stuff. They have wallets, music boxes, phone cases, mouse pads, keycaps, purses, plushies, watches, mugs. I think I know what I'm going to be doing. I think I know what I'm going to be getting. A special person in my life who loves Zelda. They have mugs, alarm clocks, backpacks. They also have different jewelries, necklaces, keychains, earrings. I mentioned the rings already, or even just other fun stuff like puzzles, paintings, rugs, blankets, even bedding. They also have stickers if you want to go that route, or wall art, posters. You can also get things for someone's birthday, birthday themed Zelda, figures, lamps, Lego. I mean, the list just goes on and on. So if you want to partake in that as well as support the podcast, you can go to zelda-merchandise.com/reality2. So that again is zelda-merchandise.com/reality2 to partake in that. There is also a coupon code that will also be reality2 that you can also use at checkout as well to support not only Zelda merchandise, but as well as the podcast. And I am back. So let's talk single life. There's probably people I'm not going to even remember. Okay? Bear with me. If there's anyone that I don't remember and you want me to talk about them on another episode, please let me know. I will do that, but I do not remember. I will not remember everybody. Probably not. Anyways, let's just start with Jesus Christ. Okay, let's just talk about Coltie and Courtney. Oh, I could have told you. Actually, scratch that. Everyone who has been with this man told her that he's a lying, cheating, nasty ass. And yet, here we are. While in the home of Courtney's parents. He is sending dick pics to Diana or Diane, or basically Jessica 2.0. Okay. It's just ridiculous at this point. It really is. It's sad. It's what it is. And like she kicks him out. Good for her. Then you have Mama have Debbie coming to, I mean, obviously to check on him, but then she goes to Courtney. What her end goal was to whatever is beyond me. But she goes over there to be like, he is so sorry. I promise you, he is so sorry. And like we're gonna, he's never gonna do this again. Could you take him back? What the you you literally can't tell me that you actually believe the words that are coming out of your mouth. Your son has been done nothing but cheat on women. We know he cheated on Larissa with Vanessa. He cheated on Jessica with Vanessa. He then cheated on Vanessa. And here he is now cheating on Courtney and Diana. And if given the opportunity, he probably would have cheated on Diana with Courtney. Like it's ridiculous. This whole he's a hot mess. He truly, truly is. And needs this is aside, he's a mess. But what I don't understand is I truly do think that she thinks it is her responsibility to help him with everything that's gone on. And it's not up to her. She doesn't have to do diddly shit. She goes and she picks him up from the airport after he's been spending I don't know how long with Diana. Okay. She goes and picks him up from the airport because he's gonna have an appointment with a doctor. Okay. It's about doing surgery on his knee. It's just ridiculous that she goes and take an Uber. Okay. Take an Uber home. This is not my responsibility. She picks him up. The sadness of the whole thing, listen, the sound was great. With the Scarlet A, it was great. But the thing to me, she's having this conversation with him about her trip in Brazil. And actually asks him, like, did you sleep with her? And he doesn't deny that he did. And her response, which was really heartbreaking, but her response back to him is, well, at least your dick worked with her. Because, like, that was, if you remember, that's the whole excuse of, oh, he couldn't get it up because he was in pain. He couldn't get it up because of the medications. He couldn't get it up because of this, that, or the other. When really it was, is it because of her? Is it because she's not Brazilian? Like, I don't know. So it's really sad. But again, it's like, why put yourself through being hurt like that by this guy? Coltie? Listen, he fooled me too. I thought, is he a changed man? No. No, I'm mad too for different reasons that I believed in him. Anyways, but I just want her to be happy, not with that guy. But then we see in the next episode that she has a new boyfriend who's like 60 and she says the sex is great. And yeah, I mean, get it, girl. This is he is exactly up her wheelhouse. It's perfect. It's perfect. Can't wait to see how that turns out. And how jealous probably Colt's gonna be. Um, so yeah, that's basically my thoughts on them. Let's move on to, oh God, Gino and Natalie. I hate it here. I really do. I don't want to see Gino at a club, at the strip club. I don't want to see him trying to make it rain. I don't want to see him getting turned on by getting a lap dance. I don't wanna see any of this shit. I don't wanna know that he's having sex with Natalie. I don't get it. I don't know how she could ever, but I don't care. I don't wanna talk about it. I don't wanna hear about it. I just don't wanna hear about it. I will never understand. Listen, Uncle Marco, I like you. I really do. You're one of my you when I first saw you, I'm like, "I like Uncle Marco." But then for you to kinda sit there and be like, "It's all Natalie's fault." The fuck? Are we all watching the same show? Listen, Jasmine ain't perfect, but Jasmine is not the only one to blame, okay? What I do wanna watch, though, is, first of all, the decision for Natalie to have Gino meet her daughter. Oops, you just started having sex with him, and you're now going to have her meet him is crazy pants, and that in and of itself is crazy to me. But you what I do wanna see is her literally troll the fuck out of Gino and be like, "I can't stand to see you, like, be with a troll like Gino." Bombastic. This is just so good. What I want to see is her twin brother basically roast the hell out of Gino and be like, "Yeah, like, she doesn't wanna see you. She doesn't wanna meet you. She ain't about this life. She doesn't even know why you're here. I don't even know why you're here. Last I heard, your ex-wife was beating up my sister for what? I don't know. And you talk about wanting to be with my sister. Okay, sure. Have you just started filing to did you start the process of filing for divorce?" And he kinda looks, actually, I don't even think he answered the goddamn question because no, he didn't. And we know that Jasmine was the one that filed. So, yeah, no. So, I mean, listen, as a person who has been here, who's done this, who started another relationship while still being legally married, that is not a problem for me. Clearly, these 2 are done. It is what it is, where that is concerned. They're not gonna get back together. I don't think that's anything we need to worry about. But it's when it comes to him, when you find out that the reason really truly is because he just wants to be sure that he doesn't have to give Jasmine any money, it's that part for me. It's like, ugh, I hate him. And wait 1 fucking second. The audacity of this man to be the one to break up with Natalie. Listen, do I think that it was the wrong decision for him to break up with her over the circumstances? When it comes to her child, no, I don't think it was the wrong decision. I think it was the right decision. This is a losing battle for him when it comes to her daughter. But for fucking Gino to be the one to break up with Natalie is mind busting. How in the Lord? It should have always been Natalie being the one to break up with Gino. Again, as I said in the earlier part of the episode, what twilight zone have I entered into where Natalie's the one that's being broken up with? It's incredible. Um, but yeah, we'll kind of see how things go. I guess I don't really care, but I guess we'll see what kind of happens with that. Um, who's next? Trying to talk about everybody that's in the States first and then move on to people who are not in the States during their season. I guess the only other person in the States is Vanya. Oh my God. I don't understand. Listen, we're going to take the same formatting as I did with Gino. Number one, I do not understand Vanya wanting to be with Gino, Gino, sorry, Tony. I don't understand it. I don't want to come and attack the man's looks. but that's part of it. But really and truly, it's, like, not even the most important part of this. For me, I am confused by the fact that this woman is actually, like, okay with a man treating her the way that he is. Honestly, I don't think I would have ever been with this person from when you found out that he took you to, um, Florida Keys and, um and he had a whole ass girlfriend, I think, and living in with him at the house, and you didn't even know that. And then to also find out this man's also been married in between those 2 situations, the situation and being with Vanya, it's ridiculous. This is crazy. But this man is getting mad at her because she doesn't answer the phone when he thinks she should. Getting mad at her because, um, Sanella is asking a million to chillion questions, but listen, she went in hard, but I think he deserved it. Um, Getting mad because dancing isn't appropriate for a new relationship. You can't go and do the bachata because because he didn't wanna dance with her, she goes and finds, in his words, and I quote, "Vin Diesel-looking guy who looks like your ex." It's just but you didn't wanna dance with her. Instead, you are more concerned, I guess, about how you're gonna look than just having a moment with your girlfriend. Like, the fuck? Am I crazy? And then you get mad because you've been forewarned chillion times that my girl's gonna go to Ibiza and she may not be able to talk to you all the goddamn time. So because she can't talk to you all the goddamn time, you're losing your ever loving shit. Who knew? I did. So it's just this whole situation is ridiculous to me. And like I w- this man is not good looking enough to be acting like this. No man usually is, mind you. But my God, your insecurities are not her goddamn problem. You got insecurities, go talk to a therapist. Not her problem. It's just, it's ridiculous. And okay. Despite all of these blaring red fucking flags, my girl and this Oompa Loompa is literally saying, I love you, baby. Okay, baby, I love you. What the fuck? No, no. No, 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 no. I love you? Listen, I know y'all known each other for, what was it, a year and a half before you started dating. That does not mean you are in love with somebody. Friendship love and romantic love are 2 separate things. Like, no. 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 Mm-mm. Just no. And honestly, the other thing, this is all before they've had sex with each other. And we don't know when she's gonna have sex with him. It could be a month, it could be 2 months, it could be 6 months, it could be a year. Who knows? But this is all before. Can you imagine how crazy he will become once sex is entered into this picture? Oh god. Like, the red flags with this guy is glaringly obvious, and she's missing it all. I'm very confused. But yeah, I think that's basically it with Vanya and Tony. Let's move on to let's do Kim and everything going on with Kim. The thing with Kim that's very interesting about this particular single life season is it's not just about her dating life. This is also about her discovering herself, discovering her children and learning about their children. I mean, I'm sorry, her storyline when it comes to the adoption is fascinating. It really is. fascinating in the sense of finding out that she has 2 other children with the same man, okay? With the same man as she gave up prior to Jamal. And it's fascinating. It really is. And I really do commend her for doing probably one of the hardest things any person has to go through when they get pregnant. And one of the most selfless things that one has to potentially does. I really have to give her her flowers on that. What I did talk about this, I think, actually, I don't think I have talked about this at all. What I do have to say, though, as a person who has gone through not knowing that I had a sibling for a certain amount of time, it's funny the way that Jamal found out about his, because here's the thing, he didn't know about Larry, until he was an adult and Kim told him. But he knew about his sister from when he was little. And it's interesting because of the way that he finds out about his sister is the way I found out about mine. Not obviously in the exact same way, but, you know, he found out by, eavesdropping on a conversation between Kim and his grandmother talking about the sister. Whereas you know, it accidentally slipped out of a naturopath's mouth about my sister. Because obviously my mom brought up, some similarities between me and what she knew of my half sister, who was my father's daughter. So I won't get into that. If you want to know about that, I do believe I talk about it on my Patreon. If you want to, I do dig a little deeper on that story there. But it, it's it is heartbreaking in that sense because it really does change you when you find out that there's a sibling out there that you knew nothing about. And then in his case, when he finds out, okay, there are 2 siblings that I knew nothing about, both are adopted, both are my full blood siblings, and that's a lot. And then Kimberly, oh man, then to have Jamal lie to Larry about the sister because obviously Kim wants to be the one to say it, but she wants to say it at the right time. But now you're having your son lie for you. That's fucked up. Um, yeah, that's fucked up. And then okay, and then to find out that when Larry reached out to Kim and he's like, "Oh, I want to talk to Jamal." She's catfishing Larry pretending to be Jamal. That's some messed up shit. That ain't okay. That's not okay. But she does eventually obviously tell Larry. Larry handles it well. But what I do notice with that kind of, and I felt for her once on the one hand because I'm like, I'm sure this is a very tough conversation to be having with your son that you just met. Um, but to have not only your son, but your son's wife and your grandson comforting you about keeping this big secret. It's it's wow. Um, but otherwise, everything seems to go on that front right now. We see, like, in terms of dating, like, we see her with the B guy who we saw very briefly in Diaries. We see him because she's just hooking up with him. We see her dating that guy that she met at the party, doesn't go anywhere. And now we see her talking to this guy from jolly old England. Um, and sorry, I didn't mean it. That was horrible. But he's cute, he's age appropriate. Um, and the only problem is that he's shorter than Kim. But it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Um, what I thought it was a great idea is having Jamal travel with her. She admits, maybe he should have traveled with me when I went to go see Usman. Um, but anyways, yeah, they go to see him. I think he's in Derbyshire. Sorry, I'm not British. So, listen, I do good in some stuff. I say Edinburgh, okay? I say just like you guys say it. I'm good there. Let's not push the envelope though. So, I'm gonna say Derbyshire. I'm going to say it as I read it. But I think it's like Derbyshire. But anyways, that's where he lives, I believe. But they pass through Windsor, and there's Windsor Castle just right there. It's so cool. But yeah, they take a picture outside Windsor Castle. Fun, fun. And when they get to the hotel, um, the guy, I can't remember his name, has flowers waiting for her. It's so so good. Bought a little hat for Jamal that he actually looks quite good in. And yeah, I mean, then they have their date, which I didn't see all of the date, but they have a little train ride date. The height, not a problem. And yeah, I mean, we'll see how that goes for her. But um, yeah, I mean, he seems nice enough. We'll see how it goes. So yeah, that's kind of Kim. And now we're just heading into Dominican Republic with all those people. Okay, let's buckle up, y'all. I'm gonna try not to talk too long about this. Liz, the whole situation with Liz and this guy that she's been talking to back in Seattle. I mean, I don't see what the big deal is if you're not. I mean, maybe they are more exclusive than we know, which is, whoa. But go have your fun, girl. Do what you gotta do. Get when Stella got her groove back too. It's fine. Instead of when Liz got her groove back, it's perfectly fine. What I don't need to know though is anything having to pertain to her sex life with Ed. Listen, I watched it between the sheets. I don't need to be finding out about, you know, because he's shorter, we have to do this. Or I don't need to hear him talk about them doing butt stuff. I don't give a fuck. I don't want to picture Ed ever in that way. Ugh. Anyways, so that's that. I really nothing more to say about Liz. Go live your best life. Go have sex with Via. Do you, boo boo. You're doing it right. Um, then with Sophie and the Pedro stuff. Listen, my girl, you are on a bang trip, but technically you're supposed to be on a bang trip with Pedro. He's the one that invited you to the Dominican Republic. And then you're gonna be out here with the buffer Pedro, who no substance in that conversation, but he's hot, whatever. And it's just, I can understand Pedro being upset, being like, I invited you here. You're only here for a few more days. I thought maybe you want to spend that time with me. Instead, you would rather not spend that time with me. Okay, cool. So, yeah. And the thing that drives me nuts though is she's like, I really miss Pedro. Girl, get your shit together. I don't ask for much. Get your shit together. Really and truly. And yeah, and then the whole situation. So I feel like I've covered the whole Pedro thing in kind of a nutshell where that's concerned. In terms of because this back and forth with, do I want to be with him? Do I not want to be with him? Do I want to kiss him? Do I not want to kiss him? Oh, he could have had sex tonight. Oh, no, he's not. Like, I'm over it. But this whole, the best part of this show was Lydia and Nicole teaming up and being only how Lydia and Nicole can be. Mwah, chef's kiss. Lydia being like, "Have you tasted my son's eggs and plantaino?" Oh my god. And Sophie's like, "I'm sorry, the fuck what?" And then you have Nicole kind of being like, "You don't wanna have sex with my brother, though." I agree with her. It is really fucking weird that you guys are so hyper focused on whether or not she's gonna have sex with Pedro. That's weird, but we expect this from them. But what I do have to say here, though, is I hate to defend Sophie, but I'm going to, that when she says, like, "Your fucking mom," or whatever, she wasn't saying, like, "Fuck your mom." Oh, no. We we've watched enough of Lydia to know you could never. We know what she's capable of, okay? That woman you can't cross her. Charlatan! I'm sorry. Oh, I love Lydia. I love that she's on my screen right now, or she was anyways. Um, but yeah, I do have to agree with Sophie that she's not saying, "Fuck your mom." She's saying, "You and your fucking mom." And Pedro knows. I can maybe understand Nicole not knowing enough of the English language to decipher that. But Pedro, by now, has a better grasp of the English language than Nicole does, and I'm surprised that even he can't decipher the difference of what Sophie was saying. Um, that man's gonna be alone for the rest of his life because all I saw was the same shit that they put Chantel through, and him not quite understanding that nothing has changed. So, the only other thing that I wanna mention here is, who is that Nicole? I don't know that Nicole. That Nicole looks very different than the original Nicole. I don't know who this Nicole is. They must have recasted her. I don't know, though she sounds like Nicole, but I don't know who this Nicole is. Shit. Shit. Anyways, that's basically it for my thoughts on Single Life. I know we're supposed to be entering into a diaries coming up on May 10th, so we'll see, kind of what comes from that. And I do know that Last Resort is coming up next after, I'm gonna assume after this. Um, I'm really excited about that. There is a trailer out already, and I will try my best to make that a part of my docket. I do wanna say at the end here, now that we finished up with Single Life, that once we finish up with Temptation Island, just quick notes here, we still have, 7. 7 will be a standalone episode, 8 and 9 is gonna be 1 episode, and then we have 2 freaking parts of the reunion, um, that was done by Nick File. Um, I will most likely be doing that in 2 episodes as well. So, with that being said, we'll have probably another 4 episodes of Temptation Island and be done. And then we will be entering into, drum roll please, we will be doing a fun episodes that we'll be doing with Love Overboard. I am so excited that I decided to do this show. I am enjoying it so much, and I cannot wait to start talking about it. Um, so yeah, we're gonna be doing Love Overboard for a little bit, and then we'll see what we're doing next. Maybe going back to a show that hasn't been done. I am hoping to include 90 Day into the mix again, whether it's I'm doing notes or just kind of talking about the episode, we'll kind of see what we do. I am planning to do one big episode about the tell-all for B90. That probably will be coming at the sometime next week once we finish up with both of those. Um, so yeah. But anyways, that is it for the announcements. That's it for this episode. We'll be back with another one, with Temptation Island. Until then, y'all, that is it for me, and that is it for this episode. If you liked what you heard, bear with me because I have not done an outro for this, for the podcast in quite some time. So bear with me here. So if you liked what you heard, you can go to any of your favorite podcast apps. You can like, follow, make sure you don't miss a single episode. And you can also rate the podcast at either Apple Podcasts or Spotify. It'd be greatly appreciated. As a reminder, any 5-star ratings that are given to the podcast or any comments that are given to the podcast will be read on the podcast, which I have done in the past. If you want to connect with the podcast through social media, you can find me at Facebook and Instagram at Reality T times 2. You can also find me at Twitter, TikTok, and Blue Sky at Reality times 2 pod, I believe. You can email me at realityt times 2 at hotmail.com, and you can have any inquiries, anything like that, any ideas, any shows or episodes you want me to cover, you can definitely do that over there. And I am going back to our old website, and that is at solo.to/reality t times 2. There you can get any of the links to anything that I didn't mention here, any of the socials, website, email, all of that. It's all there for you. And we also have a new thing there where you can help support the podcast as well. It's called a tip jar. And you can tip whatever your heart's desire if you want to support the podcast, but don't want to necessarily support the podcast in going to Patreon, for example, or any of the links in any of the advertisements. You can do it there. But since we're on the topic of Patreon, you can head on over to patreon.com/reality t times 2, where there you can get access to even more than what I do here. There are 3 different tiers where you can get these shows ad free, as well as our next tier up where you would get another reality show that's being covered. So, we have Jersey Shore that's been getting covered. That's still being covered currently at the time of recording of this outro, but the future is bright with what's to come in the future, which I will be discussing, or I have discussed. I don't even know. And then also our next tier is a true crime tier as well. So you can definitely head over for that. But that is basically it. I will also just quickly mention here too, if you're interested in a different take of a podcast that I'm a part of, we do things a little differently, you can head on over to Next Take Podcast, where I usually drop bonus episodes here on this feed, but there you get a lot more. And that podcast is making changes. We're growing, doing new things, but you can definitely head on over there if you want to just hear a little bit different than what I do over here. So you can find that podcast over at our website, solo.to/next take podcast. And there we'll have all the links to your desire that will link you to any of your favorite podcast apps or YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all of it. Social medias, it's all over there. But of course, you can still find that podcast at any of your favorite podcast apps. But that is it for this episode. We'll see you next time with another episode. Bye, everybody.